Okay, balik po tayo. Okay, Kuya Serge, so how do you feel about, for example, the way things are being run now? And we see a lot of limited abilities in different levels of government. How do you try to change that so that you can have a more efficient and more accountable? Kasi ang malaking problema dito sa atin sa bansang ito, ng mga bagay na nangyayari, walang merong accountable eh.
How do you change that?
Ha?
How do you change that?
Yeah.
Slowly. Well,
Yeah, I know.
You cannot go fast, so you do it slowly.
Ang gusto mo sabihin dito, sa langit na lang ako maghihintay.
Maybe.
Ha?
Maybe, that's true.
Kasi napakahirap na makita. Pero kasi ang pagbabago, sabi ko, iniisip mo nga dito, kung ikaw naging presidente, if you focus on 4 items and succeed there, you would be the greatest president of this country. But we sure have more than 4 problems.
Yes.
Baka 30, 40 yung problemang
Right.
yan. So, kung ano ang makakaya mong matapos sa loob ng isang termino, is limitado. That raises the question, are you in favor of re-election for a second term? Na palagay mo ng Pangulo.
Yung Pangulo?
Kasi siya lang naman ng 6 years na,
I see.
maski na Senado, 2-6.
Yeah.
Ang Kongreso, 3-4.
Yeah.
Ang Presidente, 1-6. Are you in favor of the Chief Executive having a period of re-election? Alam mo,
Maybe if it's 4 years
si
only.
Cory ang nagpasok niyan eh. Yung 6 years.
Yeah, but if it's 4 years and 4 years, pwede. But 6 years and 6 years is too long. If you have a disaster of a president, you're going to have a disaster for 12 years.
Yeah, a bad president, a good president for 6 years is wonderful if you can get one.
Yes.
But a bad president for 6 years is too long.
Yes.
Di ba? So, if you are in the Senate, how will you try to see if you can moderate that kind of extremist position of 6 years, no second term?
The Senate does not deal with that. It has to be a con-con.
Con.
Yeah.
Are you in favor of a study group creating that, or are you in favor of a constitutional convention by election of the people?
I am in favor of a constitutional convention because the Constitution is too,
Narrow?
no, it's too mabusisi that
Oo.
to have the senators and congressmen pay attention to it is too much. So you have to have dedicated people who will be elected and just have.
What about the comment of other people na if you go for a constitutional convention by election of the people, basically you will have the representatives of all the dynasties, and that's about 92% of all the politicians in this country.
Yes, but still, they will be able to pay attention to it. We cannot pay attention to that in the Senate or in the House. They'll be able to pay attention to it, whether they are with the dynasty or without the dynasty, they'll be able to pay attention to what the problems are.
What position will you take if you are in the Senate regarding certain provisions there that lack accountability, the dynasty provision that the old constitution chickened out to define?
Well, the dynasty provision, we passed the bill twice in the Senate, but the House will never pass it.
Eh, yun nga lang talaga ang problema.
It's the House that's the problem on the dynasty provision. It's not the Senate.
Okay. So 0919-221-2562, if the COMELEC rule that you are disqualified from the 2019 elections due to non-filing of SOCE, you said that you will not make an appeal? Why? Don't you think that you should at least make a move to counter its decision?
Well, that's true, no? But I'm sure that the COMELEC will decide in my favor. Because while the law does not allow late filing, the law is very strict. If you don't file in 30 days, you're out. So even if you won the election, you cannot sit anymore because it's permanent, you're out. The COMELEC itself has never respected that. They allow
they
late
allow
filing.
late filing.
They allowed late filing. So they allowed me to file late in 2010. So if they allowed me to file late in 2010, why are they saying that I didn't file in 2010?
Actually, it was a slight misrepresentation. They should have said that you were late in filing in 2010 rather than saying you did not file.
Yes.
Eh, yun ika nga, sometimes they say the white lie is worse than an outright lie.
And then in 2016, they allowed the Liberal Party, Senator Drilon and Senator Rojas to file late.
Why not you?
Yeah, and they didn't allow me to file late.
Or is it true that they did not allow you or they just didn't answer you?
They answered, Chairman Bautista answered me, but he said, your
He
case
referred
is
it to
now,
the commission.
he referred it to the commission, and the commission never responded.
Bakit naman nagkakaganon?
I don't know.
Dereliction of duty nila yan eh.
Yeah.
So maybe if they feel guilty about their dereliction of duty in not answering that thing, your request, then maybe what's going to happen? But did you make any attempt to file though it was late?
No, because there's no place to file. If they don't accept your filing, there's no
That,
place to
no,
file.
no, but did you make an effort to try to submit?
No, I did not make an effort. I knew that it would be useless.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. So dito ang question dito ngayon. So you feel very confident that you will be able to run.
Yes.
Okay, unless some interests come in to try and block you. Do you foresee any of that?
No, I don't think. I don't think so.
Ang senatorial election kasi, bali todo yan eh. And napakadaming tao dyan eh. Na napakahirap sabihin, ibablock ko ito, ibablock ko doon. Kanya lang, ako I'm a little bit surprised. For example, one political party says, vote for all of our 14 candidates. But there are only 12 positions. What happens when you put 14 names there? You are taking away from others. In other words, ang gusto nila, para masigurado, siguro yung 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 sa kanila din. Kasi yan, numerical lang lahat yan, di ba?
Yeah.
So para to block out others that may not be as strong as their 13th or 14th candidate, ganun ang gusto nilang mangyari. Alright, from 0917-626-4134, you made remarkable measures in the Senate during your term. What other measures are you pushing for in your bid for 2019 senatorial elections?
There are many laws that have not been passed. For example, the land use code.
Wala pa yan. Tagal daw ng
Ang
pinag-uusapan ng land use code.
Oo. Ang tagal namin pinag-usapan yan. Because the real estate developers kept on blocking it. But I think that I can find a way to make a deal with the real estate developers already so that we can pass this because we need that land use code. We need to make sure that our titles in this country are proper and only one, not two, not three, not four, na pag may title ka sa isang property sa Makati, eh meron rin isang tao na may title din diyan. So that's really a big problem in this country.
Okay, let me ask you another question then. What do you think of all these Chinese coming into this country and taking over a lot of labor jobs and businesses?
No, they're not taking over the labor jobs. They are with the POGOs, the offshore gaming companies. Those are the jobs that they're taking.
Not only that, but when they start build, they bring in their own labor. That is the condition there on build.
Well, that is different. That is different because when they fund your project, you're supposed to hire their contractors.
But why not from the Philippines?
No, they hire also from the Philippines. They hire from the Philippines.
But a very small portion of the total labor needed.
I don't know. But remember, in the Philippines, we have very few laborers.
Na natitira.
No, who will qualify.
Okay.
Because,
Yeah, that's what I meant.
No,
No skilled labor.
yeah. And even ordinary labor, because they don't hire anybody above 30. They hire only 22 to 30 years old because malakas pang katawan. Then after you're 30, they don't hire you anymore. So that's the problem now. I'm trying to look into that problem, but I mean, I really pity those people who are already 30 and above and they cannot get unskilled labor.
What about attempts of government to improve the productivity and labor skills of the people that are available? Nothing's being done about that again.
No, we're trying to do something about it.
Trying.
Yes, but the trouble is people don't like to study.
Well,
No.
alam mo, pero kung meron silang kikitain,
No.
I don't see why they will not.
You must also take into consideration that about 20 to 30% of our people are brain damaged by the time they're 5 years old.
Because of malnutrition.
Yes. So what do you do about that when they're 30 and 35? What you have to do na lang is we have to go down to the 0 to 5 and start feeding them. Now that's going to cost a lot of money, maybe 100 pesos per day. But still, if you don't do that, then by the
You
time they're-
prejudice the next generation.
prejudice the next generation. So we have to.
Well, what you have done is outlined in an indirect way a lot of the what ought to be our priorities
Yes.
in terms of our nation. And you intend, when you are in the Senate, I hope, to constantly call attention to this and apply the pressure so that ang resources ng ating bayan are not misdirected.
Not only in the Senate, in the House.
Pati sa House pa din.
Yeah.
Kanya lang, sa Senado ka, ewan ko sino kakampi mo sa Kongreso.
Well, we'll have to campaign there. We'll have to personally campaign among the congressmen to pass certain laws in the
Okay.
House.
0919-221-2562. If re-elected, can you do something about the EPIRA law? Pataas po kasi ng pataas ang presyo ng kuryente natin. Salamat po.
Okay. Our electricity is doing very well now. Our electrical industry is doing very well. And we remove all the subsidies. The other countries have subsidies. Malaysia subsidy, Thailand has subsidy, Indonesia has subsidy, everybody has a subsidy except the Philippines.
Why not?
What?
Why should we not have some subsidy? The greater portion of our population is poor. We are poorer than those countries.
I don't know. The problem is that we can afford to pay high electrical wages because that's only a residential. It's only residential. It's not commercial. The commercial people that need the subsidy because they're competing with other countries. Our residential people, they're not competing with other countries. So,
Marami sa kanila gumagamit din ng kuryente pero wala namang mga trabaho. Pwede ba sasabihin mo, pababayaan na lang sila magbayad ng mataas na presyo? Where is the, how do you promote inclusiveness
no, but
with that?
you know, the what you call this, the lifeline rate. The lifeline rate gives a subsidy to all those who are 0 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 200 kilowatt hours. So they're really low. So they're not high. They're low. The ones that are high are the ones that live in Forbes Park. They're paying 12 pesos to 13 pesos per kilowatt hour. The lifeline rate is paying only about 7 pesos to 8 pesos per kilowatt hour.
So you think that's low enough? Because if you don't have a job, even if you're paying, you're saying mababa ito kaysa sa Forbes Park, hindi ko nga malaman kung saan ko hahagilapin ng piso ko para magbumili ng konting aspirina
I know, but that's a difficult part of it because if your bill is only 50 to 100 pesos, how much can we lower it by? Can we lower it by 10 pesos or 20 pesos? It's still going to cost you 80
Mabigat pa
pesos.
din.
Yes.
Well, sa akin, the obvious answer to that is a simple one. If we do not invest to improve the productivity of our people so that their capacity to earn more
Yes.
is improved,
Yes.
forget this nation. We will remain poor forever and ever. Amen.
That's true. That's exactly true.
Hindi ka dapat sasang-ayon sa akin at politiko ka Sabi nila, hold up hope to the rest of the people. Speak even if there is no basis. Yun ang problema. Those people who are realistic and who understand the dynamics of the situation, see how difficult the problems are,
Yeah.
and find that there are no easy
No,
solutions.
there are no easy solutions.
And if we do not, for example, build up our exports so that we become not just a consuming, importing country, but also able to export with improved productivity products that we make here, we're without hope.
Yeah, the export is supposed to be doing well, except
It's not.
it's not. But I think it's because we lost a lot of ground with this U.S.
Quarrel with China.
quarrel with China. So our electronics went down. But we're starting to go into other products, and I hope that that will make up. I don't know. I'll find out more about it.
All I know is, Kuya Serge, you're going to be entering a Senate that is struggling with 1,000,001 problems. And the Senate will need not just level-headed people, but people who can see into the future and craft a national strategy for the nation to balance off and improve our exports, to broaden our product lines, to broaden our target markets, and that needs dedication, and that needs a lot of competence. Whether we can do it, I don't know. Are we going to be left here with an economy being pushed simply by condominium building?
Well, put it this way, no? If you look at our problems. First things first, the Catholic Church has been very, very bad with this population problem. We cannot continue to multiply. About 30 years ago, we were equal with Thailand. We had about 44 million. Now Thailand is 60 million, we're 104 million. So really, it's difficult to support all those people because you're not creating enough jobs for them.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I blame the church on. Then we look at on a larger basis, our per capita improvement has really gone up. The whole world has gone up. I don't know if you read this book, Facts, something about facts, where he said that, believe it or not, the world has improved. Philippines is now going from the first level 1 to level 2, almost in level 2. Then we go to level 3 and level 4. And so we are improving slowly, but not fast enough.
That has been the case for the last 20 years.
40 years.
Or 40 years. I'm sorry that I must interrupt, Kuya Serge, that we have run out of time. All I'm saying is I'll encourage you because we need some saner heads and thinking heads in the Senate. I know you smile, but you know what I'm talking about. And the number of candidates into the Senate is a real circus. But I wish you the best of luck, and I pray that the people will be encouraged to have you back in the Senate, because whatever, and I'm not saying you're perfect, because nobody is perfect, but I think you have a far greater opportunity to do more positive things for this nation. And that I am in favor of. And I wish that God would give you the grace and to be able to be successful in your campaign.
Thank you very much.
I want to thank you, Kuya Serge, for being with me tonight. Ubus na ang panahon natin. And so, we have to cut it short and just tell people, I hope you enjoyed our discussion with Sergio Osmeña, who's running for the Senate. And he didn't ask me to campaign for him. That's something which I did voluntarily out of my own conviction. So, don't blame him, ha? Hindi ako binayaran ni Kuya Serge or binigyan ng anumang pangako for whatever. He is one fellow that if I have an issue, I will talk to him, but I will never put any other consideration except that which is better for the rest of the people or to the majority of the people. So God bless you in that
God bless you too.
regard, Kuya Serge, and we'll see you next time. God bless you.